questions about demigods and
about
demigods.
demigods.
Yes, and
Yeah.
honoring Shiva
Yeah.
and I don't know who else. uh,
Well, Shiva's position is unique.
yes,
Even,
you can speak about
generally
this
when we
also.
say demigods, we're talking about, well, we can say Brahma, Shiva, but really like Brahma, Saraswati, Indra, but they all have some unique position. We say Sarvadeva Mayo Guru in the Acharya slok. Acharya mam vijaniyat navamanyeta, saying don't think of the Acharya as a man, right? Guru is Krishna's agency, descending through him. Sarvadeva Mayo Guru, he is all the devatas. So then we understand, well wait, on the one hand we're being told, don't worship them as independent divinities. On the other hand, we're told, neither should you dismiss them as being insignificant. Because how did they achieve this position? How does someone become Indra? It's not like that there's a lottery for conditioned souls. And who won? I did. All right, then you're the next Indra. Right? You won the lottery. No, Indra has some qualifications. So Brahma told, it says in the Bhagavatam in the 4th canto, one who executes his varnashram dharmic duty perfectly for 100 births, 100 births, perfect execution of varnashram can become Brahma. And that Brahma still, Brahma bhuvana loka punar, he avarinchi amangalam, he's still dealing with inauspiciousness and the world, and after 315 trillion years dies. Indra, look at Indra, his pastimes as given in the Bhagavatam. So karma, misra position. That's why we're getting back to the Brihad Bhagavatamritam. Karma misra bhakti, jnana misra bhakti. In this sense, Shiva, again, Shiva's position is unique because Bhog Shiv, Tyag Shiv, Bhakta Shiv. But when we're talking of Bhog Shiv in this world, then we can say like demigod. But Tyag Shiv, Shiva Loka, still, it's Jnana Misra Bhakti. Bhakta Shiv, then that's Jnana Shunya Bhakti, the highest type. So, but the point is, these devatas achieve their positions, they're delegated, designated by Krishna. So they should not be, in other words, don't think the local mayor is the ultimate authority or official or post or position. But don't disrespect the local mayor either. You have the mayor, the governor, the king. The king absorbs all of the functions of lesser dignitaries, but they're still dignitaries. So what we're being cautioned against is thinking, like in the case of Durga, Durga, like Bengalis, Durga's running the material world. So then I should cut a deal with her so I can live here happily. Because she's in charge. So Durga Puja. And if you hear some of the chants, the one that always sticks out in my mind is Rupam Dehi. And it's like, give me money. They're just saying, gimme, gimme, gimme. They have all these gimme mantras. So they're saying, placate her, worship her. She, the warden who's in charge of the jail, the prisoners thinks, let's have a good relationship with the warden. Yes, that makes sense up to a point. But it's not everything. In that way, I'll have privileges. A nice cell. Freedom of movement within the jail. But you're still imprisoned. And if you look closely in Brihad Bhagavatamritam, then you come to the conclusion, in some instances, rarely, she can allow someone to leave the jail. But for the most part, when it says Yanti Deva, what is it? Yanti Deva Vrita Devan Pitrin Yanti Pitri Vrita Bhutani Yanti Bhuteja Yanti Majjachinopimam. Krishna is saying, you worship the devatas at best, then you're with them. The bhutas means ghosts and spirits, then you go to them. Pitri means ancestors, then you go to them. He says, but yanti majjajinopimam. And you worship me, you come to me. It's not by worshiping them that you come to me. And everybody say, well, what about the Brajagopis? That's another thing. It's part of their divine pastimes. They're the highest devotees of Krishna. Radharani worships the sun. The Brajagopis, they worship Katyayani. But what is their prayer to Katyayani? They're simple-hearted, village girls. Oh, but we want Krishna as our husband. They're not worshipping the goddess to achieve mundane happiness. So not to exalt them to the same level as divinity. Krishna is Deva Deva, the God of the gods. Krishna, Bilva Mangal Tagore has one, Jaya Jaya Deva 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 Tribhuvana Mangala Dibyanama Deya Jaya Jaya Deva Krishna Deva Sravanaman Nayanamrita Avatar. Nayanamrita Avatar. The nectar, the eye nectar avatar. And he is Jaya Deva 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 Tribhuvana Mangala Dibyanamade, and your holy names, auspicious for all universe. Jaya Jaya Deva Krishna Deva Sravanamana Nayanamrita Avatar. The eye nectar avatar for the mind. Spiritual mind. So we were sort of, born and raised in ISKCON. Prabhupada was very heavy against the demigods. Also, you can understand it if you live in Bengal. Right? When they worship around the corner, and Manasa, the snake goddess, and they have a god and a goddess for everything. But Gurudev, he was more generous in this regard. We know sometimes he's saying Jai Ma Kali, because she's like the goddess of Bengal, Durga Devi. Puja means Durga Puja, Ma Kali. The Bengalis, they all call Ma Kali Ma, means mother. And you think, when you look at her, you think it's just so peculiar. But they grow up in an environment where she's Ma. So he is showing some respect, that we should be respectful, not conflate their devata position with that of Krishna, but be respectful, because they're not nothing. Chayeva yasya bhuvanani vibharti durga. Brahma Samhita and Saraswati Thakur said, she is a shadow. We're talking about like, life's but a walking shadow. We're shadow, chaya vas. And our position, they're also chayeva. Chayeva yasya bhuvanani vibharti durga. Saraswati Thakur says, her actual position in the spiritual world is Brajagopi. And as she appears at present, it's a shadow of that Hladini Shakti potency. So those whose eyes, spiritual eyes, are awakened, and they're observing this kind of an environment, and to navigate it successfully, you have to proceed cautiously, show proper respect for the devatas. And if you read Sanatana Goswami's Brihad Bhagavatamritam Tika, his commentary on his own work in this regard, on the second of the Dashaparad with regard to Shiva. It mentions Shiva and other devatas, saying not to conflate them with Krishna's position, but neither shall you disrespect them. Have to appreciate. And with Shiva it becomes even more complicated, because as we look more deeply, when you get to Bhakti Shiva and Vaishnavanam Yata Shambhu, and that cannot be ignored or neglected. So when Gurudev named that little mandir at Govindakunda, he gave the name Gangadhar Sadashiva, so that it would not be misunderstood. This isn't because they'd say, well, it would be inappropriate in a normal sense to have a Shiva temple. Ramanuja says very heavy things about, it would be better to live in a cave, with lions than take shelter of a Shiva temple. But here, and Guru Maharaj, when he would be in certain parts of South India where they believe Shiva is supreme, they say, oh, Ramachandra's worshipping Shiva, so he's superior. Guru Maharaj said, no, he's showing in Vedic culture what is an ideal householder. But Guru Maharaj, for these people, would deal with them in a simple way by saying, one thing, you always see Shiva meditating. Upon whom is he meditating? Right? Rama, what was that song? Brahma Bole Chaturmukhe, Krishna Krishna Hari Hari, Mahadeva Panchamukhe, Rama Rama, Ram Nam. But more specifically, Guru Maharaj said, the Ganga has come from the feet of the Lord, whether you take it Krishna or Vishnu. So it's the foot bath of Vishnu. How is Shiva dealing that? When you see his hair, you see the Ganga, because it was coming down in the world, and he thought it might devastate the world, so it touches the hair of Shiva, going through there and that way entering. So the foot bath of Vishnu, he's keeping on his forehead as worshipable. So that's why Gurudev gave the name Gangadhar, who's carrying the current of Ganga on his head. And who is he? Sadashiva, not to be confused with any other Shiva. Sada. here means pure. That his position is unique. He can occupy many positions. He's dealing with Maya. We're told Vishnu cannot have any direct contact with Maya. Vishnu lying in yoga nidra, eyes half closed, and the peripheral glance toward Maya. That glance personifies as Shambhu, Shiva, who has the sum total of all the jivas, and impregnates them into the womb of Prakriti. How can you, just accepting that, how could you disregard someone who's the personified glance of Vishnu? Whereas Guru Maharaj said, jivas, the problem with the jivas, they're atomic Shiva wannabes. And I also want to have Maya as my consort. But Shiva says, Mayam tu Prakriti Vidyam, Mayam tu Maheshwaram. And he's the master of Maya. It's a big difference. Master of Maya, servant of Vishnu. We will never be the master of Maya. That's the delusion. Devi esha gunamayi mama maya durataya mameva ye prapadyante mayam etam tarantite. 7th chapter, Bhagavad Krishna is saying, Maya, she works for me. So think about it. You're going to go up against her. Good luck. It's not going to happen. But, on the other hand, if you surrender to me, Mam eva ye prapadyante mayami tam tarantate. Easily, because she is my servitor. That's why she has to also be respected. It's a seva, service that she's doing. So then you can cross beyond her influence only by through surrender, devotion, not on your own prowess. You've achieved something, some position by dint of your whatever, austerities, mental, intellectual culture. Impossible. But surrender to me, then easily you can cross beyond that. Maya is ashamed in the presence of, we can say, Krishna or pure Krishna conception. But Guru Maharaj reminds us in the Bhakti Mukti slok, Pisachi Hridi Vartate, saying, but when the witches of Bhakti and Mukti, they're sitting in your heart. And he said, how can you invite the most dignified lady, Bhakti Devi? We're saying Tulsi Devi, Bhakti Devi, Bhakti Devi. How can you invite her to sit where they are? So then someone said, well, then we're hopeless. We're helpless. Yes, that's true. So we take shelter of lotus feet, Guru and Vaishnav. Hey, help me. I don't know what is what's in my own self-interest. Guide me. Grace me. Be merciful to me. I'm your aspiring servitor. And if that is real and earnest, it must be, that sort of prayer must be reciprocated. The devotees will never assert their own position, but always in remembrance of the lotus feet of Sri Guru. Whatever wealth may have come to me, any glimpse of that higher reality, any sort of appreciation, that is the grace. Prasade pai. Prasad. What is it? Yahara prasade pai bhavatoriya pai. Krishna prapti hoy jaha. You have Krishna, and you can distribute Krishna. Otherwise, I have no capacity, and I'm hopeless and helpless in this regard. That's the beautiful position to be in. That sort of, Goptritve Baran, that sort of dependence draws the shelter, protection, acceptance of Krishna. Whereas if we think, no, I'm fine on my own, I'm good. That's a sad, pathetic way to be. We're dependent. We're not ashamed to admit that. We're dependent upon the mercy of Guru and Vaishnava. And we shall eternally be dependent upon their grace. We don't want it any other way.